My mother wanted to get married and have, I want to say, 6 children, which she did. She was an absolutely wonderful mother, but she was a very typical mother of that era. We were expected to handle ourselves in a certain way. In the dining room, we could not sit down or lift a fork until my father and my mother were seated. That's the way we were raised. Church was a big deal. We would all file into the Catholic Church and everybody would say, "Oh, what a beautiful family you have," and I think that made my mother's day. We were always perfectly taken care of, perfectly dressed. We had everything that we wanted. If I was to go back into my childhood and say, what was the one thing that was missing, it was that intimacy between mother, father, child. We were raised by nannies. But to me, they were far more than that. They were like parents. When I was a little girl, I was the least desirable kid in school. I was the only one who couldn't read. They would stand me up in front of the school and ridicule me. I didn't know what it was. I just thought I was stupid. Nobody could figure out what's wrong with me. I was dyslexic. Nobody knew that. On the last day of school, my 8th grade nun teacher told me not to be disappointed because I would never amount to anything. It was like she didn't want me wearing myself up, trying to prove something I could never prove. I think that they thought I would never get into college. But at that time, I was really being praised for my art. I didn't go into Cincinnati with a scholarship, but they took me because of my art portfolio. And I ended up at the end of the 4 years winning an award that they created on my behalf. The first year Penrod opened in Indianapolis, they called me and asked me if I would sketch portraits. It was that intimacy I was looking for. I felt that children would give you their honest face where an adult would not. So I was not interested in doing adults. I would sit there until dark, until literally I had a migraine headache and needed to be taken home because people would wait for hours in line for me just to do a sketch of their kid. The more I painted, the better I was, the more attention I got, and I started to believe that I had something to offer. Well, I never expected to be a well-known artist. I never expected anything. I just put one foot in front of the other. It was like you wake up, okay, what do I need to do today? I loved being engaged in things. I love learning things. I want to go experience something, do something, learn something. Being dyslexic, I still wanted to learn. I couldn't learn through books because I couldn't read. And I was able to create adventures around a lot of my paintings, whether I was working for the zoo or, painting tigers. I would find somebody who owned a tiger and then I would go and do a tiger. I never took anything out of a book. I didn't think small like that. I always thought bigger. So it was like, okay, I want to work for the zoo. Or the zoo would call me and say, okay, I want you to do this. So what do you need, Nancy Noel? I'd say, well, I have to swim with dolphins to do this. I think animals teach you a lot. There's so much, if you're really looking, so much for you to see how they interact with each other. I go out there with my camera and spend hours and hours. I'll have thousands of photographs of like one bird. If you have a good connection with any animal, such a gift, because that dog, for example, will protect you. It'll be your companion. It'll be loyal. It brings so much love and positive energy to almost any situation if you treat your animal like a friend. They're highly spiritual, and to be able to get on a 1,500-pound, 2,000-pound horse, unless you feel that, unless you know what that's like and what it does, how it enriches your life, you might not understand what I'm talking about. But I must have seen something that really called out the intense compositional quality of the Amish. Like, for instance, the fact that they didn't use electricity. They were lit by candlelight, they were lit by moonlight, and those things really attracted to me. They were romantic. Sarah was one of those paintings that it was the very first Amish I ever did, and I had it in my studio, and people would come up to my studio and there might be 10 paintings in there, and that was the one that they went to every time. I think it was this shared experience between the girl and the cat. I think there was a lot of simplicity there that called out the Amish culture, which people liked and admired. My trips to Africa and my paintings were like a trade to understand the culture and the continent. And I loved the colors, the patterns. I wanted to go, I was eager, I wanted to see, I wanted to know about the rhino. Danger wasn't anything that I ran from. My career took a totally different turn when my horse died. I'm not sure why I started painting angel faces, other than that I needed them for my book on when my horse died. And angels, I could do whatever I wanted with the background, color. It gave me an opportunity to have more freedom with my subject matter. When I did that first book, I realized that people really needed it. They wanted more of that. The thing that I believe that people say about my artwork is that my work is emotional for them. I think that I had the ability or have the ability to go in and capture the soul of something. To have somebody crying over my art is a common occurrence. There's always an emotional component that people say, oh my God, I've never seen anything like this. This is so beautiful. You know, I was doing portraits for a long time. And even though I was really good in those portraits and people were praising me, I wanted to do something more. I wanted to make a statement, and I wanted that statement to send a message that would inspire people. I didn't know what they were going to be at the end of the day. You know, I thought, well, I'm going to paint this big clock, and then I'm going to put these hands there, and I'm going to put a bird in it. I had no idea why I was painting what I was painting. And when I finished the painting and I was able to stand back, then I understood what it was saying to me. Letting go is a perfect example. I painted letting go and then realized that there were a lot of things in my life I needed to let go of, but didn't realize it while I was doing the painting. Even though if somebody said, what do you want your art to do? I would say inspire people. I never painted for my audience when I was painting things like that. It was a wonderful feeling to be free of having to paint for someone, because I had just finished a couple decades of portraits. Just follow your bliss. And that's exactly what I did. Because I couldn't compete, you know, luckily, I guess. I couldn't compete in everybody else's world. Academically, I never was able to compete in anybody else's world. So in some ways, not fitting into the everyday world gave me the opportunity to create my own. I knew I needed animals around me. I knew I needed space. I knew I needed area to grow. I knew I needed privacy. I needed beauty around me. If somebody wants something, they have a vision and an intention, and then they create it. I guess, you know, I was lucky that people made fun of me or whatever when I was little, because it opened up the door for me never to try to be like they were. It really gave me the opportunity to say, create your own world. You're never going to make anybody happy. You're never going to be like everybody else. You might as well just get that through your head right now and do what you want to do.